Dynaphones connected. Initiating broadcast signal in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast. I am the man that you call Dukes, and to my right, it's all about the...
Booyah! What's up? It's your boy Joe, baby.
And to my other right, weighing in at 178 adamantium field pounds, Alfonso X-Man Flores.
Oh, my stars and garters.
That's right, ladies, gentlemen, and knights. Alfonso will be wearing his best stars and garters today as we prepare to talk about the Amazon television show going on 2 seasons now, and we're just getting around to talking about it. Reacher, not starring Tom Cruise, but starring that other guy who Alfonso will tell us what his name is. So, Alfonso, since you have to tell us the name of the star of this show, because I can't remember his name, but he's a good actor. I remember him from the last Fast and Furious movie and from Teen Titans. Joe watched that. Tell us, Alfonso.
He was also in Smallville. You love that show.
He was Aquaman.
Oh, wow.
In Smallville.
Okay.
See, you really didn't like that show. You're like, oh, Smallville is like dope back in Superman. And what was it, CW?
Yeah. Actually,
He wasn't
Tom
as
Welling,
buff, though. I mean, he was in good shape, but he wasn't as buff.
dude, nobody can be as like him and The Rock. I think they're tied for like buffest guys in Hollywood right now.
So I kind of lagged for a second.
Mhm.
Did we get it? That his name is Alan Richson? Alan Richson. And did you know in the 2000s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he was Raphael? Or at least the voice of it.
No way.
Yep.
Wow. Actually, I didn't know that.
He was in Hunger Games.
No, he was in the costume, dude. There's an interview where like the guy that plays Lex Luthor in Smallville,
Uh-huh.
he has a
Michael
podcast.
Rosenbaum?
I can't remember that. Yeah, I don't remember the name, but
It's called it's like Small Talk or something with him and what's his name? The Superman guy, they do it together.
yeah, he mentions that he did that. He said one of the worst experiences he had because I guess the costume's hot. They didn't feed him. They were disrespecting him on set. Probably like he said, one of the worst gigs he ever had.
Dang.
Man, that's crazy. So this guy, let's see here. He's been in Indie Comic. He's been in DC. He's been on Amazon, and he's done a lot.
And
Dude,
he was a turtle.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he was in Fast and Furious.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like they just picked him up after Reacher. They were like, yeah, this guy's buff. Let's put him too.
He also was in Hunger Games. He was I think in the second movie he was a guy from District 1, and he had this show on TNT called was it Blue Mountain State, about a college football team. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
It was like a bunch of TNA. It wasn't that great, but
Hmm.
do you say on USA?
was it you? No, I think it was TNT or
Oh, okay, TNT.
one of those.
Yeah. One of those stations I only watch when there's wrestling on. Otherwise, I don't watch it. Alfonso, you're our resident researcher, so to speak, even though Joe is definitely dropping the knowledge there too. What can you tell us about the Reacher show?
Well, there's this writer named Lee Child, and he's wrote, can't even tell me how many books right now of Reacher. I know he's got a bunch in the can too, or getting ready to release. He wrote these stories and they picked it up for a movie and they casted, how the studios love to cast who they want to cast, and they want to cast Tom Cruise. And he's like, no, Tom Cruise is like 5 foot nothing. Reacher's supposed to be like 6'5", this big beefy mountain guy, and so he didn't mind Tom Cruise as an actor. He's like, that's not who I want for Reacher. So they didn't quite see his vision. So I'm glad that even, with the movie, which actually did fairly decent, you know, because of course it had Tom Cruise in it. All Tom Cruise movies do fairly decent. They're really good, or box office bonanzas or whatever. But I'm glad that Lee Child didn't give up on that, because it's such a cool story. And putting this Man Mountain in this movie or this TV show has like changed it so much for me. I love it. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious how, I mean, everybody, of course, you know, they joke on his size, how tall he is, how big he is, like how he's supposed to be sneaking around nothing. You're built like a truck, you know? Um, yeah, this show, he's what it is. He had this group in the army, and what they did, they were special investigators, and they would go investigate big things that, you know, for the military, to make sure that, you know, they're keeping everybody on track. So they kind of had a little more carte blanche than everybody else. It was funny when he got his team together. One of the first guys he got was this guy, little guy, who had stopped a couple of big guys from fighting over the last cookie that grandma sent home, you know. And he's like, I like the way you dealt with that. You know, I want you on the team. And, like when you get a new job and they got to have these team building exercises, he did a team building exercise. He took all these guys out to a bar. The problem is he took them to an officer's bar, and one of them was only like a major. So she shouldn't have been in the officer's bar. So the officers came over and they started giving her crap about it. And he's like, no, she'll leave one night. But anyways, their team building exercise was basically beat the crap out of that other infantry. So they did, and they walked away. And then everybody was, pals ever since. So.
Yeah. I have to say, I didn't like season 2 as much as I liked season 1, because what bothered me was his team.
Yeah.
I felt like he in himself is like kind of I'll say Superman, for lack of a better phrase, or, like he's this guy who does completely impossible feats, but since
Right.
he's so big, he makes it seem believable. But then his team is also engaging in impossible feats. And at some point, when you've got 4 or 5 people all engaging in impossible feats, and, Neely, his sidekick, she's awesome, but
Oh, yeah.
she's just as impossible as he is. It went a little bit over the top on the believability scale. So
Yeah.
I loved it. I liked it, but the believability factor for me in season 2 was a challenge.
Yeah. That was one thing about season 1. It took place in Margrave, I don't know, Georgia, and it was a small town, so he was able to accomplish everything he needed to do. At the tail end, Neely came in to help out, but it was pretty much him making a go with it the whole show. The second season, it was in a larger city, was in New York, right? So it's like it was too much for one man to handle. I can understand how they brought people into that, but yeah, I did like the feel of the first season better, just because he's not a drifter. He's a hobo. He comes into town, next thing you know, things start happening. He starts investigating, and lo and behold, it's his brother who got killed. Oh man, of course, then he had to turn it on. It's like, it's on now, the whole time he's being, thrown into jail and questioned about this and that. And next thing you know, he's pretty much running the show, and you got the lead detective working for him.
Yeah, that was more believable, because small town, it's like, I felt like that was more believable. But second season, he's fighting NYPD, he's got like government officials involved, and it was just it felt to me like that should have been like, if they're doing a trilogy, and I don't know if they are, because there's a million books, but to me that would feel like the end of a trilogy, where finally they bring in the team, everything like that. But yeah, for me it was it felt a little bit too big.
Yeah. Joe, what was your thought on the first season?
Joe didn't even watch the first season, bro. He did like Alfonso. He's gonna say he watched it, and then you're gonna ask him for details, and he's gonna be like, "Yeah."
Like, there's a guy
Dude.
with a gun.
I watched the first season. I'm the one that told you guys to watch it.
I know, dude. I know. There's just too much silence, so I figured
Yeah.
I'd jump in and start talking crap.
It was just like, okay, now you guys are like I was having lag issues, man. It was just annoying, mad annoying. But now it seems
No,
like
you're
it's
fine.
okay now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think of the first season?
I like the first season. It's I like that whole like Wanderer stuff because I actually like the Reacher movie with Tom Cruise, the first one, and I thought that was pretty cool. So and I like Alan Ritchson from Teen Titans. I thought he's dope, dude. And so he's really good in this TV series. Like I started watching Reach, I'm like, man, this series is good. But I enjoyed this first season a lot. Like the second season, I want to say got more viewership than the first season because a lot more people are catching on how good that show is. And there's like mad books about this Jack Reacher series. I think they're doing like I can't remember, is it book 11? But they jumped. So I think they did like the first season was like the first book, I want to say,
Mhm.
and then it jumps to like a different book. So it's like there's so much source material that they can go on for a long time and they can pick what they want to pull from.
I want to give you guys an example of how much of a badass Jack Reacher is. This is my favorite. He's the second son in this family, right? The parents, everybody calls him Reacher. The first son gets to be called Joe. What's that about? It's kind of cool because like they did have some flashbacks where they went back in time, and they're showing the story of him and Joe growing up, and he's a big kid for his age, but Joe's got a couple years on him, and of course they're military brats going from town to town or even state to state or country to country. And there's always going to be bullies, there's always going to be people giving people giving little kids crap, so they step in and they help out, and the whole thing is it's like Joe's trying to protect Jack this whole time. And then finally at the end he's like, no, it was me, I did it, I did the whole thing. And it was a really cool dynamic because you didn't really get to meet his brother in the show, but you get to see him a little bit in flashbacks, and then you get to know a little bit about him from other source material. And for some reason they had some kind of falling out, and it's of course all kinds of regret, and now he's got to avenge his brother's death.
Yeah, the dynamic of him and his brother was definitely, I felt like it was pretty big that they started off with that for like the first season, but it was a great way to like get you immediately. It's a good way to have you get caught up on his backstory, because his brother's such an integral part of the overall story. I thought that was really good. So, like I said, I like season one. Season one was really good. He mentioned in season two, oh, my brother's dead. That was kind of like a bummer. And I thought the way that he said it was just a little bit too matter of fact.
Yeah, but if you Jack Reacher, that's who Reacher is, the way he talks and he deals with, it is what it is kind of attitude. So it doesn't really he it's almost like like you deal with someone that deals with number stuff. If the math makes
Mhm.
sense, he's kind of like that with life. So, him is just a simple dude. Like he accepts it is what it is, and he moves on. He never goes backwards. And so that's why I like at the end of, when he was leaving on the bus, he said, how about you stay in touch because we're family? And so like the way he ends it with like he goes, I was visiting family. That's huge for Reacher because he's so like secluded, with just himself, and like, and his team was dropping like flies too. That kind of sucked. But
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like
like it's dope. I think it's dope.
yeah,
The show.
the first season all spent with was him showing that he has no family. So it's like that was a good character development,
Mhm. Right.
And then he has his one buddy Neely that helps out, but then in the second season, it's like that crescendo of it coming together at the very end with like, no,
Mhm.
you do have family, and the fact that he admitted himself, that was pretty big of him.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. I just I think there's some stuff that some people for me personally, I just think that there's some stuff that you just can't chalk up to. It is what it is. I totally get what you're saying, and it makes a
Mhm.
lot of sense based on the character type.
Mhm.
That's how he is. I guess that's just something I don't like about the character, that at
Mhm.
some point I would feel like, hey, that's his brother. He needs to be a little bit more emotional about that.
Mhm.
You know,
But some people are like that though. Like, I mean, what was it? I know you don't watch it, but Big Bang Theory. Remember, you seen that,
was-
right, Alf?
Yes.
Like he can't think he thinks like Reacher until like later on. Eventually, he breaks down and he starts to accept people as family, and that's so the part that you hate, the end of the season 2, is fixing what you dislike by him admitting I have family.
You know, it's funny too, is I was gonna say that exact same thing about Big Bang Theory and Sheldon Cooper, you know.
Mhm.
It's never mentioned, and I did Google around looking for it. It's never really been confirmed. But if you look at Reacher and the way he is, he's a little bit on the spectrum. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, for us to say, "Oh man, how do you, just let that gloss over?" You know, somebody died, somebody you love was that close to you died, and they're, it's just a different way the brain works, and either it's something that learned, developed, but even when they showed him as a little kid, he was just everything was matter of fact, right? Emotions were kind of like to him, he'd do that puppy dog, you know. So I would say he would be a highly functioning person who is on the spectrum slightly,
Interesting perspective. I'd have to think about that one. I don't know if that really ever crossed my mind, but definitely based on his emotional processing, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and they always say that there's a fine line between genius and something like that, because most people are the higher thinkers. I don't know. I'm no I'm no psychiatrist. It's just from the things that I've seen and learned, and it's just it seems that way, and it's like he's super intelligent. He's super analytical. He's got he's always 2 steps ahead. Like he's a human game of chess. You know what I mean? And oh, speaking of, okay, he goes through these towns, town to town to town to town to town to town, and he's doing these things. He's a one-man A team. You never see him work out. It's like, how is he keeping this physique, not eating the peach pie? You know what I mean? He's never at the gym. You would have to have him at the gym once in a while, at least every episode, because that guy is yoked.
I figured.
We trying to see that though.
The
think
thing
Dukes
though
would
is,
complain. Why you in the gym?
bro,
You have time to go to the gym.
that
You don't care
dude
about
takes
your
off
brother?
his shirt so much, bro.
Yeah,
So I'm sure
bro.
viewership would go up if they showed him sweaty and glistening at the gym.
Bro, if I look like that, I'd be like, yeah, I'll do a shirtless scene. Like, why not, dude? Go ahead, check it out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if he works to get there, right? Show it off.
all right. So and also if you think about it too, like how we keep talking about how he's kind of like he's smart enough to know like the evidence points to this,
Mhm.
and if he doesn't change to where he thinks about family, because he would have, even though that I can't remember his name, but he was a member of their team.
Swan.
If Swan, he kept saying no, Swan's innocent, and they're like, but by your logic and the way you think, it's him. And he kept saying no, no, and so that you can tell from that he's gradually changing to who he was. To your point, Alan, like he's starting to become less. Oh yeah, my brother died kind of guy. To we're like, yeah,
Right.
my brother died. So you can tell the transition of him, getting better and accepting he can have close people around him and have some type of emotion as far as like a family connection, because he kept saying Swan didn't do it, Swan, and everyone was like, bro, like you've all trained us all and we all know it points to Swan the
Yeah.
whole time, and then you find out like homeboy had his eyes and his finger, bro, that dude,
Pickle
I was
jar.
like, Reacher's gonna get that ass, man. Like like dude, it's like bro, like he's so pissed too.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys a question, and I'm deviating a little bit, but we know I'm famous for doing that. So we know Tom Cruise was on the big screen before. Would you want to see this Jack Reacher go to the big screen?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. Like, I was thinking, like, we were having a discussion, me and CJ, one of my homies at work, and he was like, I love Tom Cruise in his movies. I start to think, like, because he was having a debate with his family members about Denzel Washington,
Mhm.
and that if you think about it, I can name more Tom Cruise movies that I've enjoyed more than Denzel Washington movies.
Equalizer 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, Top Gun 1 and 2, Jack Reacher 1 and 2, Mission Impossible movies. Like, there's just more movies Tom Cruise is that you can legit say, like, those movies are pretty good.
Yeah, but
I
I
didn't
bet
know-
you Tom Cruise has done a crap ton more
Yeah,
of movies.
Yeah. And he
There
had
were
some
2 Jack
bombs
Reacher
too.
movies?
Yeah, there was 2.
Bro.
Yeah, you can fact check me. There's 2.
Alfonso, get the fact checking, bro. Okay, he's checking.
So, but yeah, dude, like, but everybody likes this Jack Reacher because in the books he's not the size of Tom Cruise.
Right.
He looks like Alan Richardson. That's
Yeah.
what Reacher really looks like.
There's Jack Reacher and Jack Reacher Never Go Back.
Yeah, you can watch that.
Wow.
You can watch that on Paramount.
I can watch it on Tubi, bro.
I'd rather him stay on the small screen. The reason being is because you can get, I mean, if you put it all together, it's basically what one 8-hour movie. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Why
Yeah.
why limit yourself to a 2-hour movie? You got to pack
Yeah.
everything in the 2 hours, and
Mhm.
you can draw the character out more. So, like over the
Yeah.
course of time, we got to see him grow and develop as a character from somebody who is like cold and heartless to somebody who has some semblance of family and feelings.
Right.
So they sussed it out really well.
Yeah, I'm with Alf on this. I would enjoy it more on like a TV series because you could do more with it, more storyline, more in-depth detail on character development as opposed to movies. Disney ain't doing it the right way, but other platforms are.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, dude, like I really like Alan Richardson. He's pretty good. I mean, I like his stuff, bro. Like for me, I enjoy watching his stuff. He wants to be the new Batman. I think that would be dope.
Dude. He'd be such a big Batman, dude. Like, just how they always say, like, "Oh, how would you not know that's Bruce Wayne?" Dude, he'd be the biggest dude in Gotham City.
Yeah, but I think he'd be a good Bruce Wayne too. I think he's a good enough actor to be a Bruce Wayne and a Batman.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
You saw
Yeah.
him in those suits in Reacher. I was like, oh, he could just
Well-
darken up his hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a legit good dude too because he's with his wife that I think he met in college. I was watching like a documentary about him, and his wife homeschools kids. So like on the set of Reacher, even on Titans, they're always with him, and so he's always spending a lot of time with his family and his kids. And I think
Oh,
that's dope.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dang.
his character in Titans too. It was that was a pretty good story arc there too, because he started off cold and heartless,
yeah,
and then like towards the end, like dude, I was in tears at the end when what happened to him.
yeah.
It was a tough episode, man.
But
was
it
good.
ended dope. He's back with his homie.
Yeah.
Saving people. So it's he had like a good ending.
Yeah,
Sad, but like he didn't go back, but it was still dope.
Did you guys finish Titans? I didn't.
I probably
No.
got about 6 episodes left.
Like I said, I really like Alan Richardson, so I like his character. He was just dope. He
Right.
brought like
Yeah.
a certain charisma to it. And same with the was it Aqualad? Like he was dope, And then I get it, dude. You're trying to make a most gruesome like Teen Titans, but when you kill off those 2 characters that I like, that were in there, I'm just like, And I haven't even finished, I think, the season before the last season.
I stopped watching that when remember there was the season where Raven's dad came back, Trigon,
Uh-huh.
and it was like it was a dream, but it wasn't a dream, and that was the end of the last season. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I hate those shows where, oh, this really didn't happen. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I got a question for you guys too. Okay, he's not a small man, but he can
No.
walk into a thrift store in the middle of nowhere and find something to
Right.
fit him. You know what I mean? I could maybe find the shirt that I could squeeze into, but there ain't no way I'm finding a jacket at a thrift store. I'm
But you
sorry.
could-
Or pants.
But like even though he looks that huge on screen,
Yeah,
he's probably like a large, or double X or something. You know what I mean? And so like
Yeah.
nowadays, it's not that hard to find in a thrift shop like a double X. It's common now,
Yeah.
And so I can see him just walking. I don't think I can live like that though. Like, I mean, toothbrush. That's all that guy needs is a toothbrush.
he's like he picks up
But-
boxers too. I'm like,
yeah.
what?
Well, one of the scenes that I really like was like where he was, he had when he was at the thrift shop and he had to go get some money,
Yeah.
and the girl was crying. He's like this. He's like that. He goes, "Are you okay?" And then she goes, "Is your kid in that car?" Like he's just so dope. He knows like she's
Yeah.
getting held up. He's like, "Stay here. It won't take long." He goes over there and just jacks that dude up. I was like, "Bro, that's so cool. I wish I could do that." Be like, "Yo, don't look. Don't look. Does that guy have a gun in that car?" "Yes, my kid's in there." "Stay here. It won't take long." I'm like, dude, that's dope, dude. That's like that reminds me of like that Taken scene. Remember, he's like, "I will find you."
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
goes, say that one more time. He goes, "Didn't I tell you I'd find you?" Can you imagine that, bro? Across the whole world, bro. You're like, oh shoot, is this guy that was on the phone? Like I like those dope scenes like that, and I like those shows, because like, it's nice to have like a hero type show that's not a superhero.
Mhm.
And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like a Sherlock Holmes, Patrick Swayze Roadhouse type you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna beat you
Yeah.
up, but I'm smart as hell kind of thing. I kind of like, like traditional like action, no powers kind of stuff. And it's written very well.
Yeah.
And I like that they show the human side of him too, because like he doesn't go into the fight and not get hit.
Mhm.
He takes a punch, he takes a kick, he gets cut, he gets beat, so you can appreciate that in a show because it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't care how good you are, and you got 3 or 4 guys there. It's almost impossible not to get hit. You're going to take the little ones so that you can deliver big ones. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. One thing I really don't care for about Reacher, and it's what I hate in all shows, which is sort of interesting, is his romantic interests. I get it. They have to do it in order to keep people engaged and put a little bit more intrigue into it. But I never care for his romantic interests. They just
Mhm.
they don't feel like they're really necessary.
I think they're just there so that certain people watch the show because, it's like, yeah, my wife watched it with me. It was awesome. She doesn't watch anything, and she watched this with me, and I'm like, I wonder if I'd have lost her if he didn't take off his shirt so much. he comes in. Next thing you know, she's in the shower, and you hear a little brown chicken, brown cow, brown chicken, brown cow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's probably, well, of course I always have things that could be changed in a show, but I'm like, I get why they're doing it, but it's just like I feel like as much as he's always in peril and he's always trying to, work through stuff and figure stuff out, it just seems like that's a distraction. But Reacher's a dude, so I guess he has to do what dudes do sometimes.
Mhm.
It's not so much him too. It's the ladies are like,
Yeah, I mean the ladies are
The
like he reminds me of Val Venus. Hello,
Yeah.
ladies.
it's like Reacher around here.
Val Venus with his little towel. Hello, ladies.
Man, that's some Attitude Era
Yeah,
callback right there.
Right.
I don't think they can do that now.
Huh, there's no
Especially
way.
Vince McMahon.
There, I think it was all over TikTok. I don't know the rapper's name, but he was on trial and they were playing his songs. So they're playing his song and he's like incriminating himself, like it's even on the song, they're using it as evidence. And so you think like, because I saw on TikToks and I totally forgot about that. Do you remember that one when Vince McMahon had the desk in the middle of the ring and Stacy Keibler was like dancing in a miniskirt? I forgot that era word. That's all they did. And so
Yeah.
they're gonna bring that to the courtroom. Oh, you remember you did this? What's up with this?
Yeah, that Attitude Era was something else, man. I was just watching something on The Rock, and he was talking about like he was telling somebody who's in the latest SmackDown. He's like, "I'll tell you in Chinese," and he's like, "Ching chong chong." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah, there's
Yeah, you
just
see a
so
lot of
much.
stuff. Yeah. But at the time it was still funny.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, I'm Asian and like I think it's funny, dude. Like it's The Rock was in his prime. Do you remember where did we go? Like it was our first Comic-Con that I went with you, like and we went to that festival, you remember? Like, and it was like a
Oh
funny
yeah,
and bro.
Sick and Twisted.
Alf, they were hitting
Ooh.
every race, bro.
Ooh.
And my little Asian brother was sitting next to me, John, remember? And
Yeah.
we were laughing at everything, bro. As soon as it gets to Asian with the little hat and the hello, sir, dude, he was so pissed, dude. And we were getting him on the ride home. Remember, we are like, hey, bro, you can't laugh at everything else, bro, and then get mad when they get to you.
Right.
You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah. I think they tried a watered down version of that Sick and Twisted Festival
Yeah.
on MTV, and it wasn't the same because
Mhm.
you can't get away with all that stuff.
No,
Spike
you
and
can't,
Mike,
dude.
right? Spike and
Yeah,
Mike's Twisted,
Spike and
yeah.
Mike's Sick and Twisted Festival.
Yeah, I never got
Like
to
we
go to
were
one.
talking at work, you can't do Tropic Thunder now.
Nope.
That was a good movie, dude.
Is that the one with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't care, bro. I don't care. That movie, that actor
It
will
was
never
dope.
get canceled, bro.
No,
Never.
bro. He's all where he says, you can't do that. What do you mean we can't do that? You're right. It was just funny, dude, but you can't but
I don't care, bro.
yeah,
He
bro.
could do
like
that every day. If they had
I'm
a
just a
scene
dude
tomorrow,
playing a dude.
I'd watch it.
I'm the dude that's playing the dude that looks like the dude or something like that, bro. Like you can't there's a lot of stuff you can't get away with nowadays, man.
Nope. If I'm not sure, I got to run it by my daughter. I'm like, all right, fine. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Just a different day and age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Dude, it's just completely different. But it's interesting though, because I feel like kind of, getting back to Reacher, I feel like Reacher would have done just as well on, like, let's say, obviously you have to take out the little bit of blood and a little bit of sexuality, but I feel like the writing and the character development is really what made the show, and it didn't rely so much on, like, Joe likes to complain about The Boys, how in every season someone's appendage has to get
Mhm.
exploded or something like that. Same network, Amazon, but they didn't rely on all that sort of stuff in order to make it a good show. They focus on the writing and the character
Mhm.
development.
I love how Reacher always has. He always has his alias. He uses a former vice president's first name and a Yankee or a baseball player's last name or something. And then that one scene where he's like, "Oh yeah, we got so and so checking in and Sarah Connor," and Robert Patrick's like, "I don't give up."
Yeah. The T-1000. I thought that was pretty cool when he said that.
Yeah.
That was spot
Yeah.
on. That was some good stuff.
Yeah, it's little stuff like that. It's like they go for it and you get the joke. That's perfect.
Yeah, he plays such a good bad guy too. He was Peacemaker's dad. And in this show, he was just like, man, he was calling the shots. Was like a former New York Police Department or NYPD guy who got investigated because something's taking a cut or something. So it's like he quit before he got fired, and then he went and worked security for this company. And he brought, was it New Age? He brought all the other, or is it New Age or New Egg? Was it no?
Age.
It's not Egg. That's something else. New Egg. What is that? Where did I hear that before?
New Age Outlaws.
No, not the company used to work for Dukes. New Egg.
Yeah.
But yeah, he brought all the corrupt cops over, and they were all heading up security team there. So it's like Reacher, he was basically going against the NYPD. Oh, and that other guy who was playing the cop, the New York Police Department guy, the detective, that guy was in Tulsa King. He was like one of the mob bosses there.
Yeah, he was the son.
Yep, he did such a good job in this show too, and it's
He
like,
was good.
what is it? He's like, you calling me dirty? You calling me bit? He had so many different ways. He's like, every time he felt like Reacher was accusing him of being a dirty cop, he had so many different ways to convey that point. He had so many similes, or so many different words for being a crooked cop, and he went through every single one of them.
Yeah.
I really thought they were going to have like a Rocky Apollo Creed type fight at the end of the season, but he didn't.
Bro, when he said, "Hey, I'll fight you any day," and I'll let you have the first hit. He's all, "I don't need the first hit." And I was thinking, man, they just told me he's dying.
Yep.
And then he gets in the car and he dies. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, dude. I would like to see them go at it or something. Because he was the one thing about it, like, that's a good character, and you're not going to see him anymore, right?
Yeah.
And just like I think you said his name, Alpha. I don't remember. He was in the first season, but now he's a cop in the city now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think in the books, periodically he comes back.
Finley.
I think
Finley.
every now and then. I think
Yeah.
Finley. But the girl from the first season, so you don't have to worry about Alan. She's that was it. She just was in that, like in the book, is just that one part. She never comes back.
Oh, dude, they're gonna write her in,
He hit
guaranteed,
it,
bro.
hit it and quit it.
Well, that a lot of people like her in the first
Oh!
season.
You don't mean
but, you know,
Neely?
what's
You
that?
mean? Oh yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, Neely and Reach are the only ones verified for season 3. I already checked that out.
Nice.
No, not
Oh, you know-
Neely, the brother cop.
No,
What was
I
his
know,
name?
I know what you're talking about.
No.
Finley.
Oh,
But I
okay.
thought you were saying Neely's not going to come back, but you're talking about his romantic interest.
What
Oh
was-
yeah,
what was
she's
the
not coming
R?
back.
Yeah, good.
Roach. No,
Good.
what was it?
Nah, nobody cares, dude.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kick pretty
I
damn
like
hard,
Neely
dude.
though.
Yeah, she's awesome, but she has like some kind of
Mhm.
like she don't touch people kind of thing. Remember, like she's
That's
she's
right.
Just she's like, oh, I don't do that. Or somebody with to shake
Mhm.
her hand. But okay, I can kick pretty hard, dude.
But she did, like when she held up the cop. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's
but
like,
it took her a second. It took her a second.
mhm.
Yeah. But how hard you got to kick to friggin', bust open the airbag? I'm like, oof, that was pretty sweet. You remember when the cop was tailing
Yeah.
he kicked? Dude, that was
So knowing Reacher, he knows exactly where to kick
yeah.
in order to make that thing explode. But I mean, we were talking about Jade Cargill holding up Nia Jax. You figure if she can hold up that, my boy's got some pressure behind his legs when he kicks. I'm sure he could hold a lot more. So I could see
Mhm.
he doing a little squat action and kicking that.
Yeah, he don't skip leg day.
Nah, dude, he don't skip any day. But like, think about it. Remember how it went on Predator, the first Predator? They
Right.
said like those guys would wake up super early to go work out in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that's what Richson must do. Like
Yeah.
that dude must just wake up like every morning before he goes and starts his acting. He must go and work out, dude, like every day. That's crazy.
Well, I think for season 1, he was saying that before he could get started, he had to put on 30 pounds of muscle. So he just bought himself a home gym and he just went at it. He said he did it all natural. He just stuck to the curriculum and he did it all himself. He didn't even have a trainer. But for season 2, because he's a man of a certain age, he got some testosterone. And that helped a little with it bulking up for the season 2. Because season 2, I mean, you could paint him green, dude. He is the Hulk. He looked like a Dale Keown's Hulk. Remember Dale Keown? Dale Keown, yeah. That was a sweet Hulk. He could totally pull that one off.
So he was bigger in season 2 than he was
Oh.
in season 1.
Yeah, way bigger.
Interesting.
Like I think he put on 60 more pounds of muscle from season 1 to season 2.
That's impossible.
Is it?
That's like an additional 100 pounds of muscle.
I said I think.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it's not true, but I mean, like, dang.
I
That's
have a
like,
buddy. I have a buddy who took some. He said he went and got checked, and because again, men of a certain age, he took
Mhm.
some testosterone, and he goes, "Dude, you will not believe what that'll do for you." I'm like, "Oh, I might have to have
Wow.
mine checked out."
wow, little TRT.
Nothing wrong with that.
Cool. So yeah, man. I definitely think, to anyone who hasn't seen Reacher, was on the fence, I definitely suggest it. Alfonso, wait, you didn't say you watched that with your son. You said you watched Barbie
Oh.
with your son, right?
Yeah, Barbie with my son.
Okay. So it's definitely not a show for the kids, right?
No.
Okay.
He kept trying to come out in the living room. I'm like, nope. We set up your TV in the room. You can go watch your Bluey or your Big City Greens or whatever you're watching right now.
Yeah. My son will walk outside every so often. He's like, "So this is Reacher, huh? I've heard a lot about it." And I'd be like, "Dude, don't have a sex scene right now," while the kid walks in. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Luckily, that never happened.
That's dope. My kids are like damn near adults, bro. I ain't got to worry about that no more.
No.
Dude, for me, it's just awkward. My son
Yeah.
could be like 30, and I don't want to be anywhere around him when there's a sex scene on a movie or TV.
And when he leans over, Dad, high five.
No.
Like, nope.
No.
Yeah, so I think he would make a decent Batman though. I mean, what do you guys say about that? Did you guys think he would be good for that? Be too obvious.
I'll say no.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a great, as far as actor wise, great. But there's a suspension of disbelief and a believability. I would not believe that this guy is running around the city being as gargantuan as he is, and no one's like, oh, yeah, he's Batman.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it.
Yeah, that makes sense because with Batman, I mean, he definitely needs armor because, you know, a bullet's going to kill him. So, like, you can get a small, fit guy who looks, you know, pretty decent in the suit and doesn't have to be too big. But then when he puts on the armor, it beefs him up really good. So, yeah, I see your point there. I mean, I think he could handle, like, if he was in his Aquaman shape from Smallville, totally did. He'd have my vote.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think because I'm thinking, like, what character would he be? Like,
Batman.
would he...
He could be Superman.
That's what I was
Superman,
thinking.
Of course, it has to be Clark.
I think more Batman.
Yeah, he's definitely got the charisma. I don't
He
see
doesn't
him in
have like the pretty
awkwardness.
boy face, the pretty boy face. 'Cause, you know, Superman, like
He
every
is
time they
rough,
always have
yeah.
like a pretty boy face. Yeah, he has that rough, rugged. You know, like Superman. This dude was like living in the suburbs. The way they pick these Superman looking guys. Batman always looks like he grew up like in the suburbs. Yeah. You know,
I mean,
he
it would
got in
make
trouble all
sense
the
for
time.
it makes sense for Superman to be a big guy, even if he was nerdy, because you know he's like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's, you know, he was a farm boy. You know what I mean? He's throwing hay bales. He's, you know, picking up cows. Whatever you do in the farm. I mean, I haven't been there lately, but you pick up cows, right? No.
No.
But I mean, you know, these guys are naturally strong. That's why they become such good wrestlers and everything. You know, I'm not even talking about professional wrestler, but like because they're you know, they manhandle things and just throw them. You know, actually, I did live on a farm. That's kind of why my back is so jacked up because I used to manhandle everything and just throw it around and not lift properly. So it's very important
Did
to
you
lift
lift
properly.
cows? Did you carry cows?
Not often. I tried not to.
Did you tip the cows?
You know what? I don't even know if that's a real thing. I've been going down this rabbit hole of whether or not that's an actual thing, and I don't think it is now.
I'm going to have to do some research because my thing was always, okay, if you tip the cows, how do they get back up? Like, are they able to just get back up on their own, or
Well, the whole theory is that they can fall asleep standing up, so they lock their knees. So it's like when they get tipped and they fall over, and then it takes them a while because they're like panicking and they have to get their knees to unlock. And I guess it's not as easy to do when they're laying down, but they do. So as soon as you tip them over, you got to run. But you know, I'm not saying I'd ever do that, PETA people. But more importantly, I don't think it's an actual thing because even if you could, unless they were standing on the same two legs, right? How are you going to tip over this cow? How much do they weigh? 1,000 pounds? I'm sorry. You know, how long does it take you to get a car going if you start pushing the car? You know, we're not small people, and we could get in there and we could push a car easily, but you know, you don't push it like right off the bat. You gotta you know, it takes a bit. So to just think you can go run and shove 1,000-pound animal over, I don't think it's possible.
I think we should take a field trip somewhere. I'm trying to think
Damn it.
what area that we could all converge in has lots of cows. I said converge, not
Oh,
well,
oh.
anyway. Yeah. I don't know where we can meet, but we need to go see if we can tip some cows.
Go to the zoo. Wait, cows at the zoo.
I'll leave the car running and you guys can go first.
Bro, you know I'm not no fast runner, bro. I'm gonna have to be the driver.
I'll be there for moral support. You got this, Dukes. Go.
Yeah. Cow tipping adventures.
Okay, so what about a Marvel guy? Who do you think he would play good in Marvel? Alan Richardson.
Sentry.
Sentry. Oh, he would be a damn good Sentry. You're right.
Ooh.
Good call.
Yeah. So here's a problem with Sentry for me because Stephen Yeun from
Mhm.
Walking Dead was supposed to be Sentry. Then he decided to leave.
Well, you know why
Like,
he left, right?
no.
They
It's
threw it
bum-
out there to see what they were saying. A lot of people were hating on it,
Oh.
and so he took himself out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was a good casting
I didn't either.
at
Yeah.
all.
Because Sentry's
I mean,
big.
he's a great
Bro.
actor.
He could be like Sunspot or something like that. If you know what I mean. If
Yeah.
you know, shit, he could have been Shang-Chi. So I mean, you know what I'm saying?
If we're gonna go X-Men, we're gonna have to go Sunfire, not Sunspot.
That's
my bad.
That's
That's
that.
right.
You guys can't go there just because he's
Wait.
Asian. You can't be putting him in a little box now.
Well, that's why he left, because he's Asian and that character is white.
Yeah, I
And
know.
so like he got a lot of hate. So I'm like, if you care about what people think about, you can play Sunspot. That's right. I said Sunflower or Sunspot, huh?
You said
Sunspot,
Sunspot, yeah.
Yeah, my
He's
bad.
I was
Brazilian.
down
I was
with
thinking
it.
I was thinking Sunfire,
Yeah.
right? But I said Sunspot, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I'm all down for, different races doing different parts. But the thing about the X-Men is you got one for everybody. So why
Mhm.
not just stick to the source material?
Right.
Because they already messed up Psylocke. Is she Asian or is she Caucasian British? Yes.
Both.
It's like they retcon people so much. Like Storm was supposed to be. Wait, no, was it Rogue? Who was supposed to be like actually have no actual nationality? Yeah, it was Storm. Storm was supposed to be. She's not supposed to be African. She's supposed to have like no actual race.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How do you not know this, Alfonso?
Well, all I
Probably
know of
'cause-
her is she was an African goddess because she brought
Right.
Rey and she was raised in Cairo. So, I know.
Yeah,
a
look it
lot.
up. Look it up, dude. Yeah, she's not supposed to. Originally, that was the plan. Like, she's not supposed to have any sort of ethnicity or race or anything like that. That
I
was the
might have
original
read that
plan.
and ignored it because I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I was like, really? You got to take that away from us? Like,
It'll be retcon soon enough. So,
yeah, right. Yeah. And then Rogue was supposed to be based on Grace Jones.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Because she had
remember
that
that.
hairstyle. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, we just need to tweak one little thing. Get me this eraser. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like Nightcrawler was originally a part of the Titans.
Really?
He was created for the Titans, and then they didn't want him after a while, so then they brought him. Whoever created him brought him over to Marvel, because they never published him, so they didn't own him.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because he fits so well into the X-Men, but I could totally see him being a DC character.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, completely off topic, Alfonso, did you ever read that issue of Uncanny Spider-Man that I told you to read with Mystique?
I've only
Mystique's
read
origin?
I've only read the first one so far, so I gotta.
dude.
Yeah, I know,
Dude, you got to read that. Joe, you got to read this. I'm not going to give anything away, but everything you thought you knew about Mystique and about Nightcrawler
Oh.
is wrong.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I've done the research. I know what's going on there, but
Dude, explain me this, right? She can change herself. This is Mystique.
right.
Can change herself down to the genetic level.
Mhm.
Here's my thing. Why doesn't Nightcrawler have some of her abilities? Or does he? And they're just
Yeah.
suppressed.
He has the blue. He can blend in the shadows. People still don't talk about his blending in the shadows power as much as possible, but that's kind of chameleon-like. Maybe
Mhm.
that's along the line. But I mean, you have people like, I mean, you got Cable who has none of Cyclops' powers.
He's not telekinetic? Oh, wait. Cyclops' powers.
Yeah,
Cyclops is the only one with his powers in his family, period, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, Havoc's kind of similar. He draws plasma from the sun. Cyclops' power is so hilarious too, because he actually, what he does, he opens a portal into the punch zone from his eyes.
Is that what it's called?
It's a planet called like the punch zone or something like that, or a reality, and it's like this force of light is always it's always moving, and it's just like he opens up and it comes through. It's so stupid. They're not lasers. They don't burn. That's one thing I hate when they get wrong is like they have his power burn something. It's just force.
Yeah, I always thought it was a laser, but then I did see that it's actually concussive force,
Exactly.
which is interesting. Yeah. Look at us, just way off topic. Wow.
Well, you know, X-Men.
X-Men. Hey, as long as we can talk about X-Men, it's a good day. For those of you who are playing the drinking game, you should be drunk right now.
Well, I always liked how Cyclops and Havoc's powers don't affect each other at all. So it's like they can shoot each other like with a blast that would level a mountain, and it doesn't hurt them at all because of some kind of genetic something or other.
Do they affect Corsair?
I don't know. I don't think they ever shot their dad.
Hmm.
But I would think because he's not mutant at all. I mean, you know, these are things that it was bred into them. So that's a good question. Well, they can shoot Vulcan. They shot him up a bit.
Oh, is that another brother?
Yeah, man. Oh man, that was. So remember when Darwin came out? What happened was when Professor Xavier, the original X-Men, went to Krakoa. You know, they failed, and then Professor X actually had another team of mutants that he sent out, and then they failed. So then they went and got Wolverine and Colossus and Nightcrawler and Storm, and they sent them. And well, I think actually the original team was the one that died, but that had Vulcan, it had Darwin, it had like a girl like kind of like Terra from Titans, where she can control rocks and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, they were an original team of X-Men. Professor X just wiped them out from existence. So what happened with Vulcan was when the plane that was so Cyclops and Havoc were on this plane with their parents. It was attacked by Shi'ar, and they took the only parachute. They jumped out, and that's when Cyclops hit his head. They only had one parachute. He was holding on to Havoc, and then they went to orphanages, and Mr. Sinister found them. Anyway, so Corsair and his wife were taken to the Shi'ar Empire, and they were treated as slaves, and she was actually pregnant at the time, so she had the baby in captivity in a Shi'ar prison, and I don't even think Corsair knew about the baby. And eventually he was born, and I think he was raised somewhere over there, brought to power, and then came back to, I don't know, it's convoluted, like most X-Men things, if they don't keep rolling with it.
Yeah. Yes. X-Men do find ways of creating new family members. That's for sure. Well, getting back to Reacher, I'll just say this, and I'll, let you guys sort of speak on it. Reacher is a much better show than I thought it would be. I have to say I enjoyed the first and only Reacher movie in the theaters, and overall, definitely a show that I would recommend.
Same. And he'd make a really good Colossus.
Yes.
Dude, he would make a good Colossus. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd have to go.
Well, that's from the old X-Men game. That was a good game.
Yeah.
We used to
That
play
was
that
such
dudes
an
all the
awesome
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I spent so many quarters on that game, and then we finally got in the comic book shop that I worked at, and we had the key. So I'd open it up, and I'd like flip, 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 flip. Dude, I just beat that game left and right all the time.
Nice.
Wow.
Like once a week.
Alfonso, you should get that game for like your house. You know how they have that 1-Up arcade that sucks, those little tiny little games?
Yeah.
You should get that for your house and like put it in.
Believe
Tell
me,
your
if I
wife
could
Joe approved it if you want to go ahead and buy it.
if I got the okay, believe me, it would be right there somewhere. Here.
Dude, Joe approved it. It's all good. Well, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this concludes this episode of the Nerd World Order broadcast. So until next time, I am NWO.
We are NWO.
Nerds Redefined. Booyah!